syllabi. So this is a very simple solution if you want to create videos. Like I find it's so user friendly. Um, there's a couple tips that I will bring up that I've learned going through it, but it is so easy. So as you can see, like once you log in, this is what you see on your screen. And super easy right here. You'll have credits. And so for example, we got 38 minutes of video that we get to make. So now that's been reset, and so I'm gonna have to make some videos. And here is where you go and create your video. So you got create video, faceless video. They used to have an AI generated one. That's kind of, they're having issues with it. That's been removed. That's why we're looking at different ones because what we're determining is probably within the next year, a lot of these are going to play out that the good ones are going to be here and other ones that aren't as good are going to probably drop off. So you may find one you really resonate with. It could last if it's really good. It may change, but even Mike was talking about a new one he's using that I think he'll show after. When he first tried it back in January, he didn't like it. And now it's advanced so much that it's much better in certain ways than this one is. So it's just an interesting thing on how everyone's advancing this type of technology. But let's digress. Let's get to this. All you have to do is hit create video. You create your faceless video, and you come to this screen. So it's very, very simple. It pretty much tells you right here, these are the 5 steps that it's going to walk you through. You're going to choose your style. You don't have to set the publishing schedule. I don't do it. You can link it to your accounts and have it auto publish. I download it and put it into my system the way my back end works. So I don't set it up that way, but you do have that option. This is where you customize the options. You put the script in, and then there's some advanced options. So when you come down, the first part is choosing your style. So it's got a whole bunch of already preset styles, and you can click on them and decide, like these are, how do you want your AI video, right? Depending on what you're looking. Is it going to be like a personal point of view? Do you want it more animated fantasy? Like you can see there's lots of cartoon ones. That's why I actually started a second channel testing out a lot of the cartoon ones, making kids content. So that's been interesting. I'm working on that on the side as well. But there's lots of different ways you can do hyper realism. You can do it more if you're doing, like I do some of the yoga videos and some more spiritual content. You've got like biblical history, ancient India or Native America that'll have more of that theme. So it gives you a few different options, which is really, really nice. So you'd pick here whatever you wanted to do. Let's say I'm making a video, I want pencil draw, and then you'd hit confirm. Pretty basic, right? It has this nice feature. Most of mine, I don't really focus on one person, but you can have like a main character, and it's got some main characters. So you could pick this. So let's say I want Luca as my main character as I'm telling the story, and it'll keep that consistency through the story. Here is the options where you can, of course, connect it to other things and log it. I don't play around with that, so I don't know much about it, but you can kind of just go in and tag them and link them to your other accounts if you decide to use that. Did you ever use it, Mike?
I realized what I like doing is uploading to YouTube and then using repurpose to sync all the. I don't want something like this just because I don't know if I trust them. I like making videos with them, and I just don't know if I trust them to publish properly just because I've met the creator of Syllabi. If you're on Facebook right now, he's everywhere over he's everywhere on Facebook. He's got like 2 million Facebook followers. I've met him in person, and but I don't really know if I trust them per se. So I'm like, hey, I'm gonna throw 25 or $30 or whatever it is per month on this subscription, just so we learn how this software works compared to there's other like this is AI video software. There's many others. Google's got one. There's one called there's probably at least a dozen out there right now, but they're not all laid out the same. So it's all different software and you have to learn how to use it. So, of course, if you're not using it, you're burning through cash and it's an expense. So, um, I just make the video, I download it, I manually upload it to my YouTube. That's what I'm doing with my Dubai real estate channel, and then I've got a spirituality channel. All that stuff's AI. Like my don't get hacked cybersecurity one is me, my human face. But these videos are faceless, so they're cartoons or animation. That's what two of my channels are. So no, I've just been downloading and manually uploading to YouTube just so I can control it because I trust YouTube more than I trust these people. But it's
Well,
just
and
how
we're both using when you use the repurpose software, which we will show as well, um, it's then it goes everywhere. This I think you have to
well
like manually set
well
up to
well
use
what
them.
So what I like about repurpose, which Roxy asked about, and maybe we'll focus on that for next week, is repurpose plugs into all your social media accounts and will post to those social media accounts in their native language. So it'll grab your YouTube and throw it automatically up on your TikTok in the format and the way TikTok likes it. So because repurpose is kind of this neutral party, and I know YouTube recommends them, I know TikTok recommends them, I like using them. Those platforms haven't specifically said they like syllabi, and YouTube's recently come out to say, hey, you can put these AI videos up on YouTube, but YouTube may or may not let you monetize on them. And of course, the whole purpose of this masterclass, this YouTube University, is to teach you how to monetize on YouTube, which is usually by showing your face. So you can use this. We don't know what the future holds. And I ran into, this is a great software for making videos. Like we like everything.
Well, it is. And then short videos and stuff like that. This is great. It gives you a lot of flexibility. And if you are just to get some content out, it makes it easy, especially if you are having reservations about getting your own
I
video,
just
making your own video, right? With your own face.
I've already seen them remove features without any notice, and I don't like that because I like when I'm dealing with my customers, I like to be fully upfront with them to say, hey, you're using this feature, we're going to discontinue it in 30 days. And that happened to me with these guys already. So I'm like, well, it's not a big investment. It's 25, $30 a month, whatever. So we'll keep using it so we can teach our students in our class. This is one option for making videos if you really don't want to show your face. But at the end of the day, we want to teach you storytelling. This is one of those ways to do storytelling.
And in fairness, I do like it because you can pretty much like we were showing with the choosing the styles, you can make it any type of style you want for sharing your story. So it's another way to play around and see what works the best for you to create content, right? And then once you put them up, as we talked about before, you can then make little short clips through the remix once they've been posted and live. So you can use that, whatever you create for content, you can then make little shorts on YouTube as well, just to get more content. So you're constantly posting, right? So, anyways, we picked our style, your choice whether you decide to ever use something like this, the scheduling. Then you get into video options. This one, pretty basic. You can store it if you want. I normally don't even touch that. I'm always using English. And then you can pick here a bunch of different voice actors. And as you can see here, I know Roxy was concerned about wanting her own voice. In certain ones like this one, you can voice clone. So you can legitimately have it take samples of your voice and then it will read your script and you don't
You could
have to read the script.
you Yeah, hit play and you'll hear what my AI voice sounds like.
Okay. Oh, I don't know if I shared sound, so let me know. Let me know if you can hear it. If not, I might have to reshare this with the sound.
The hum of the hive is like the heartbeat of a prosperous enterprise.
Could you hear any of it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So
So that's
I
my
find it, I don't necessarily think it really sounds like Mike. But maybe it does. It's interesting because it can voice clone. I'm sure the softwares will get better because we have seen such improvement in such shorter time. I'm sure it will improve. But that's another option again if you don't want to use somebody else's voice or one that does sound very much like AI, right? Because there's you go through and there's certain things like my daughter's getting really she was in a she was in a class talking about essentially using chat and AIs, and they were playing voice clips, and she was one of the only one that recognized that they were all AI generated because she's been around this. Majority of these kids couldn't identify the AI voices versus a human voice, which also is a little concerning because I'm like, well, it is a little apparent sometimes with the AI voices that they are
Just
AI.
yourself. Then you will know how to live.
Like you can kind of start telling things that it just sounds too perfect and stuff. But it is a great tool if you don't want to, if you want to get your voice up here, you can make yourself a digital voice and then have yourself reading it back. And of course, you've got lots and lots and lots of options to choose if there is one you like using or that you find that more people seem to resonate with. These are the subtitles. So I know we've talked about this before. This is where you can set up that it'll automatically generate subtitles right into your long videos. So then I like more of the bright colors. So this is where you could, check the font. You don't change the color. You can change color, but you can't do it here, which is kind of weird. But you can choose essentially where you'd want what kind of font you want under, right? So if I pick that, you'll kind of see here in the little video here on the far right that it shows this. So if we play this little sample, that's how it would look with the subtitles, right? So you could play around and be like, oh, maybe how does it look like that? Well, that's how this would look with those subtitles, as you can kind of see down here on the right. And then you can choose whether you want to do a landscape or portrait for your video. So you can do that here. And then you can kind of guesstimate how long it is. You could definitely do longer than 10 minutes. So if you're thinking this is going to be a longer than 10-minute video, you just hit it. It'll auto just adjust it for that length. Then the most important part is obviously your script. This is, no, stay. I do not want to leave. Let's go to the script here. So this is where you put the title. This will not show up on your video. This is just how the video will be saved. So if you don't put a title, it'll give it a random title. And then it does have a script assistant, so you can use this to assist you writing a script. Or I often go and customize my own script offline or not off on the side and then cut and paste it. So I'll use chat and edit it and make my own kind of script and then put it in here. But you can also put a URL to a script. If you have your own audio to a video, you can add that here. This is where you can add and upload your own sounds, etc., right? So this is the most important part. This is also one where I mentioned before, if you were in the class, about what is happening, which whether you agree or don't disagree, I may not like it, but this is what's happening, is many people in the system don't like the fact that people are using this system to create videos without even having human interaction. So there is people, as we've talked about, that are getting auto-generated scripts from AI, pushing it into a system like this, and then this system, as you can see, can auto set up to post it. So really, the person's got it animated, so there's no human interaction. And that's how the software can work. And they don't like that. So they're actually, what's happening in a lot of scripts, especially if you're writing a script using chat, if there's any type of dashes, things like that, take it out because it's going to read weird. They're like putting, like I call them little time bombs into your videos. So if you don't edit it and take out any type of extra dashes, I specifically noticed dashes cause this issue. Not always, but
I will
sometimes.
add, I would say any punctuation, so commas, decimals, the robot, the thing that's making the AI voice can interpret words. Don't add commas, like the punctuation, like in this particular system, not all the other AI video generation has this problem. This creator specifically does have that issue. So, if you've ever generated anything in ChatGPT, you'll notice if you read through it, it adds a lot of double commas. It's called the M dash. That's what Julie's referring to. I always suggest if you use a chat or AI tool to write an email or do anything for you, you look at it, you read through it, and then you edit it into your own words and then you use it however you're going to use it
Yeah.
because there are these little just kind of signatures that AI has generated something, and if you're not aware of it, you get caught off guard and you're just like, why would they do that? Well, this is just kind of like the signature trademarks that AI generating software is now putting into text. So anyway, continue.
I had I had a whole conversation with Chad
Okay.
about this and about how it just like it's how the software reads it. So I think different software have different issues. It's best to remove, like the set, like you mentioned, any of the dashes are specifically what I found with this one. Dashes cause problems.
I'm
Not
gonna
always,
say
but randomly.
it's going
And
to be
so
the
it's,
same thing if you're auto generating like a resume or cover
yeah.
thing and submitting it to an online portal. That online portal is going to easily be able to identify if you auto generated a resume through ChatGPT rather than writing it yourself because there is just digital signatures with it. So just to be
So,
aware, if
so
you are
that's the
using
idea is use the tools and be aware there's these digital signatures. You could get caught off guard with one of them where you use some of your credits, and then you get a weird dash or dot, and then you realize you missed one, right? And then it's up to you whether you decide to share it, try to edit it out, or
what
whatever. But of course, we want to make it streamlined, so it's best to take that script, remove any of those things, and make sure you kind of like add your own, you change it a little bit, at least with the commas, the periods, the dashes. Um, any of those things. I've also noticed when I get a lot of scripts that I get started with chat, they don't use however or buts or anything, and they've removed those to more put dashes. So it's interesting because when I read it back, I'll be like, oh, let's remove this dash and just connect that sentence. And even
it's called
semicolons. It doesn't use
AI is
semicolons.
lazy. AI is
It is
lazy.
lazy.
It might be creative. It might help you get through a creative funk where you're not sure how to get started with something, but we still want you as a human to use your words and your messaging in this script and your personality in this script. It's okay to use AI tools. Just make sure that it sounds like it's what the words that you would use in everyday language, right?
Yeah. Or as much as you can, right? To make it sound
You
like
should have learned that in school to not plagiarize. So we're saying use the tools, just don't plagiarize.
don't plagiarize. We're not promoting it. And if you do, it's your choice. Because the tools are here, and that would be exactly why they don't like this automation system and people making money off of it. Yet it's set up that you can totally do that. So it's like one of those things where they make the things that we can use to make money doing this, but then they don't really like you having this easy way of making the money. So then they put these little bombs, time bombs, or as YouTube is now wanting to know, is when you do create this content, you want to click that alteration box when you upload it, because there could be problems if you don't note that you did create it with AI. It could be a problem down the line where if you are monetized, you could not get, maybe that video won't be monetized or could be removed because of, everything changes when we're using, whether it's any social media, any platforms. If we didn't make it and we don't actually own it, we're at the mercy of the people that we're paying to use it. Even though we're technically paying for it, we really don't have a lot of say in when they change what they do with it. So that is the one caveat, of course, with the how this works. But that's the script, and that would be my like the side note of it is do make sure you're editing it, make sure you're getting rid of anything. Even if you like the dash, it may read it weird, and then you're going to be so annoyed that it looks great, but you've got this weird part with a weird dash, dot, dash, or something that just doesn't flow, right? And I've had that a number of times that is why it's really annoying. So that is that part, okay? And one of the things when you get to the script, this is obviously where you put your script and you start writing it like, hi, blah, 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 blah. And then you can add here pauses. So that's one feature that's been added on since we started using it is people were finding sometimes the pacing was a little bit weird because the AI doesn't know. So this is a great feature that you can pace and add stops and breaks so it flows a little bit more naturally. And then they show up like this. And then do be careful if you do put these in and you're using this software. You see I have a comma, there's no space, it's not going to read it properly. So you have to make sure that when you put these pauses in, there's a space between the start of the pause and whatever your last word was, or it's going to read it as like bracket pause 0.5s bracket, right? Or whatever the AI reads it like, right? I've again from personal experience of missing a space. So that is where you put that in. Now, the advanced options are actually really useful, but it's kind of some of the things I think are kind of strange why they put them down there, but not my software, right? We're just using it. So first part here, it has the subtitles. So as we showed, and you can see here on the right, where I guess I kept that blue font. This is the position. So you can choose if you want your subtitles at the top. So I press the up button, you see it change it to the top. You can have it in the middle, and of course you can also have it at the bottom. So that's where you can kind of play around and change where you put the subtitles. This is where you can change the color. So that top part where we set it was just the font. This is where you can then change the color if you decide you want a font, but you want it more bright or whatever. That's where you can change it here. And then
I've
subtitles,
got
again, you
I've
can
got
highlight
I've
them.
got one comment about subtitle color. So as you can tell, this is kind of like a pencil drawing animation. You just want to make sure that your subtitle color does not conflict with the animation color because I've seen a lot of people make these AI videos and I can't read the subtitles because the colors like are the colors clash pretty much. And we know that a lot of people, when they're consuming video, whether it's TikTok video or Facebook or Instagram or YouTube, they watch videos with the sound off. So subtitles are super important for user watch time and engagement. But if you go through all this effort to make video and and people can't read the subtitle because the color washes out, like blends into the background of the video, it's a learning it's one of those learning things you'll have to learn, you'll get upset about, and you're like, okay, just to kind of subtitles should be a very contrasting color to the video background in general.
The nice thing with the software, you can see it, right? So it's going to give you an example of what it's going to
I
look
know,
like,
I
right?
just
That is the perk, right?
I've noticed people, there's people I've invited to this class who make money off YouTube videos using this software, and I've told them, I'm like, I can't read your subtitles, so I know you guys are promoting this, but do better. Be better. Because if one of your audience members is like, hey, I'm watching your stuff, but your subtitle you're not actually doing when you set this up to be automated and you're not doing any quality control, your art's gonna suffer. So it's
Yeah.
just I've had
Yeah.
this as a problem. I've noticed it on other people's stuff all the time. I just want to point things out and make you better. So
Side note, if you're colorblind, that could be a problem and you might need to get somebody to help you.
I'm
And I
not.
wonder because in reality, they have proven like men don't see the same shades as women most of the time. Women can usually see more of those detailed shades. So possibly it could be a color issue. So if you are concerned about that, get a second opinion. Right there, you can see it just in case. Because
It's just
that would be
quality.
my quality
Just make
control,
sure
exactly.
quality control. Everything you do in life, there should be some quality control to it. That's why I
Yeah.
like making videos in here, downloading them, watching them back, making sure they look 99% presentable, and then go up and upload them.
Yeah. So, anyways, going back to that, that's a good point because, be aware, see how it looks, and, get a second opinion if you're not sure, right? Ask somebody else, get, somebody else around you. And of course, you can always make these videos. You don't have to post them. And you can always, after the fact, edit them on a different software and make them shorter if you do find that you only like parts of how it turns out. And the more you practice with making these type of things, you'll get better at fine-tuning things that you maybe don't like, timing, et cetera, et cetera. Everything is practice. That's why we're always talking about making videos, whether it is getting in front of the video and posting something live or making like you have to do those 10,000 hours to really master anything. And I'm not a master at this. I haven't done 10,000 hours of it. However, I've gotten better and better at understanding how to work with the tool. And that takes, of course, practice, right? That's how we get better. And so then, of course, you've got your animation. If you want to add any kind of animation into it, you can have it highlighted. I wouldn't like that. You can have it fade away. You can have it bounce. I don't know how it bounces, but let's see. Let's see how that bounce works. Okay, there you go. So that's really in your face like that, right? So you can play around with testing how they look and whether you like a specific way of it animating. I haven't really done that. I've mainly stayed with the karaoke, which is just like the basic showing up, but you've got all those options. This one was one that I didn't know, like when I was first started playing around with it, I was like, why do I have this sound? So if you don't go disable this, this is automatically enabled on this software, which is annoying. And what it does is there's a sound effect enabled. It'll make it sound like every time it's changing the image, like you're changing a page. Which if you're writing, like if you're doing it like a storybook, that might be okay. But if you're telling a story and you don't want this page sound after each video, you need to go and disable it. You can play around here though. There is music. But again, as we've talked about with copyright issues, if any of these sounds come up as flagged, your video, you're not gonna be able to monetize it. You can maybe still have it up, great. And if you really like that sound and it really engages and you're okay with it not being able to be monetized, fair enough, but I'm very hesitant about using any sounds if I don't own the rights to it. So, I've actually played around with them. I'm not a big fan of a lot of the sounds, and they're usually very short. So it's not, for me on this end, I would prefer to go back to the actual video options and, or the video script, sorry, and actually upload my own audio file for that. But you do have that as an advanced option.
Or you would just add your own audio in post-production. So you download this video, you put it in your own video editor and add a voiceover, Roxy, or add your own music to it before you go and upload it to any platform. So
Exactly, exactly. This just gives you the tools to make the video. You don't have to use things you don't like about it. You can pick and choose on each video and then export it into another system. And if you want to do the difference, you're welcome to do that, right? So it's up to you on how much what your intention is and how important that is for you. And then you go down to visual effects. Then there is ways that it'll change the image from image to image. So you've got one where it just slides. So this one would be like it goes through this image and then it just slides to the other image, even though it's not really showing you this. It can slide up or down and as it's changing from one scene to another. So when this animation actually works, it's more that it's holding an image for about a couple seconds and then it transitions to another image. It's not actually active animation like you're seeing somebody pick something up or move. It's just switching from one image to another in that style, if that makes sense and is
well,
clear.
I think after you show them like the just stepping through this process, then you can just go and show them some samples because
Yeah,
what this
okay.
software is doing is it's just drawing like an animated scene, just switching from animated scene to animated scene. So, um,
Yeah, I'll bring that up
yeah,
next after because we're almost done this page. Then the last thing is if you do have a watermark that you want to put your label, your unleash, your don't get hacked, you want to put your logo on it, you can put a watermark on it, which the benefit of that is that if somebody does want to take your content, it's going to be watermarked, right? So if you do become really popular, you may want to do that because often we will see new YouTube channels come up pretending to be the same person as the initial creator and then like kind of stealing their videos, reposting them, and often actually getting monetized faster than the actual creator, and or just having this issue that somebody's taking their content and pretending not giving them the credit, right? So that is another option, of course, you can add, which is kind of nice. And then I don't do any type of bulk creation, so I don't even use that. Have you ever used that, Mike? The presets, this
no,
waterfront?
we've only been testing the software out since January, so we're like 8 months into just using it as one of our tools for
Yeah.
YouTube video creation. So,
Okay.
and we're not
Okay, so
complete experts with this. We're just playing with it every day, saying, "Hey, we like this. We don't like, it's just like any tool out there."
exactly, exactly. And this far, I've not found a perfect one. So it's always working with what you like and what works the best for you at that point, and cost, of course,
You
right?
could just go
So
into
we go
the
to,
video. You could just go into the video sidebar and select me to
oh
see all
yeah,
your
yeah,
videos
yeah.
Yes,
Shh,
because it's gonna
stop
automatically log
pointing
you
out
into my
gadget.
YouTube.
And then everyone's gonna know what you're watching, Mike. What are you doing? Okay, let's go here. So then if you want to go watch or see what videos you have, if you go back to the main page, um, if
It's
this
just right
loads
there under
automatically.
my videos and assets. Go up.
What? Oh, there's the link. There you go. Okay, so you get back to your videos. Here it'll show you all the different videos you've been creating, right? And you can create them anywhere from like under a minute to longer, right? So for example, this one has, I believe there's a dot in it, but this is one I made, which was actually the inspiration was just a quote because I was making for a while videos on Canva, using Canva, where I'd find a positive quote, usually pet inspired or spiritually inspired. I find pets are very spiritually inspiring myself. And then I do a quote and make like a little tiny like 15-second video on it. And then I thought, well, those ones did okay. And I was trying to do kind of the same thing, but I can't. So, but I made it longer. So this was kind of the incentive, or like, I guess not the incentive, the inspiration behind this one. But I'll show you kind of how this works. Okay. So this one is, so when you get
Dogs teach us the most important lesson: love without conditions. Author unknown.
I had too big of a
Have you
pause
ever
there.
noticed how a dog doesn't care what kind of day you've had, how you look, or how much money is in your bank account? They're just there, dotty,
There's
tail
your
wagging,
Dottie.
eyes full of trust, offering their whole heart without asking for anything in return. It's the kind of love we all crave and the kind we all can give. Unconditional love means showing up even when it's hard, forgiving quickly, trusting again, and loving not for what someone does, but simply for who they are. Dogs don't hold grudges. They don't compare or judge. They just love, purely, fiercely, and endlessly. Maybe that's why they feel like home. So today, be more like a dog. Love with your whole heart. No conditions needed. Thank you for watching.
So you can kind of see, so that gives you a good example of where you see the Dottie. So that just added that. And then you can see there's another dash, but it didn't catch that. And it didn't do Dottie again, right? So there's not a consistency necessarily on that. And then you can definitely see how it kind of translates from one image to another. Now, of course, once it's generated, it's going to auto-generate the images it thinks you want. Now, when you come here, as you can see, like once you click back to look at your video, this is where you can do some editing. It is very, like, I find it very minimal what you can actually edit with it, which is kind of annoying. But if you go to the edit and the subtitles, I can't edit out the dot. There's no way I cannot. I can edit out the actual subtitles that say dot or dash. I can take them out. However, there isn't a way to remove it from the voiceover. So that is at this point just one of the limitations. But here it'll show you each of the images at the top and how long it's playing. On average, it's playing them about 4 to 5 seconds. So let's say I didn't want this image, right? I'm like, oh, I don't want this person here. Oh, let's go back here. You would go to edit image, and with it, it is kind of nice. Like usually you get a image regeneration. Here you get 3 of them, and then it just takes a credit if you do more than that, right? So here it gives you like the image prompt, and it kind of tells you what it's talking about. So you could change the image prompt and then have it regenerate an image, or you can keep the image prompt. And like here, I could just hit generate. I don't want to because I don't want to use the credit. I want to make some more videos this month, but I could generate it, and then it would bring another image similar to this image. So of course you're welcome to, or you're welcome, well, yes, you're welcome to use that, or you can upload your own image. So sometimes what I've done in some of my videos, I like some of the images, especially with my kids' ones, where there's like just a really good unicorn and I want to show it later on in the video. So I might come and be like, okay, I like this image. You can hit the download, save that image, and then you could go and on a different image. So let's say I was going to put that on right here. I wanted this image. I could then go here, upload, and browse, find that image of that lady, and then put that in place of that. Or, of course, your own image. So that's kind of the nice thing of where you can adjust the images on it. And then you can edit the actual how did I work that again? Because sometimes it's annoying because here it shows you the script. So you can see the script, but you can't actually edit the script here. And then here you get the view details, which also shows you the script. And this is, I believe, where did I did it a few times where I was able to get the dot out because when you do the subtitles, yeah, here's the subtitles, and it, which is again a little confusing because it shows them in boxes here. That's the subtitle for this image. So when I click on this image, you see how you might see that the subtitles change. So this image, it's asking for anything in return. It's the kind of love we all crave. That's going to come up with this image. Then I click on this one with the dog. This is kind We all can give. Unconditional love means showing up even when and that's what's being talked about during this image. So that would be where if you find a dot, you can actually remove that one specific word in the box here, but it will still say it. It won't change the way it's reading it. And then you save it, any changes, and then you can of course upload it. So that's about all you can really do is change the images in there and change some of the subtitles in this subtitle area. You'll see the script, but there's nothing you can really do with it in either of these areas. Did you do any other editing with it, Mike, in this end? I can't hear you. You're muted.
Um, I don't do any these type of videos. My mentality, I don't edit anything. So I don't.
All I've done, all I've
I,
really
I'm-
done is
I may be annoyed, but I'm like until there's more than 2,000 subscribers and it's effect and more video analytics, I'm like people like seeing glitches. Because when I if I find a creator out there and I know there's glitch like the worst thing I find is when people have uploaded a video and they've cut out the end. So they got you with their hook, like, and then you get to it and you're like, the rest of the video is not there. I will stop watching their stuff because I'm like, they're using AI to
Welcome.
edit it and it's not editing it properly, right? So I just want to make sure that when you're making stories that, the start's there, like the whole story's there. This is also going to possibly generate humans with three legs, 10 fingers, that type of shit. So, like, this stuff's not perfect. It's just a tool for you to learn to storytell with if you're not, if, you can use it for brand stories about your business. If you don't want to get in front of the camera, this is another way to publish videos. There's a lot of people making a lot of money with this stuff, but I know that all they're doing 8 hours a day is sitting in front of here making videos. I'm not quite that type of person, but I like to show you all the different tools out there that are available and
yeah.
learn how to use them to see if they can, help you in your storytelling.
And on that note about the funny things, I posted this video and I was watching it on my own YouTube channel to then notice a glitch in it. And if you look, you may have to zoom in. I don't think I can zoom in anymore. Let me see what I can do here. But if you look, this lady back here, her body is partially backwards. So her head, you get the back of her head, and then she's got her arms crossed. And I don't know, and like in the video, I'm pretty sure that's her chest, not her back. But then her feet are backwards. And I started laughing because I was like, I didn't even notice that, and it was already posted. So it is actually kind of funny because you'll find those in some of the images because I was bringing that up as you before you even mentioned that to point that out. That sometimes the
Well,
people are just a little
you
words.
you you notice that people are just using AI as a tool to shorten the creative process, right? So when I was making my uh low ticket videos today describing the process I'm getting you to go through. I could sit in front of I could sit in front of a camera and record all those videos, but what I did was I just took the video of the picture of myself, type the script in and let AI animate my face. So it looks like I have dentures because AI has literally slapped fake teeth in my mouth as it has me talking. But I'm like, it's my low ticket funnel. So I don't really care that much about that aspect of it because we're going to be pushing it in front of people who don't already know who I am, and I'll see if I get any negative feedback saying, "Hey, you put your face, you used AI animation on your body and your face." Everybody's doing it. Everybody, like even like a ton of videos you see out on the internet, you can tell that somebody has just cloned themselves, and it's not really them talking to you. And if you don't know that
I
that's
don't know.
happening,
I don't know if I'm seeing any commercials on like because I spend a lot of time on YouTube. I do because I do a lot of research and I'm looking at stuff and I get a lot of commercials. I don't think there's any commercials on YouTube anymore with real people. Like everybody that's talking, it's the same script. So, you know, it's like the background, same script, and it's just a different person, white, black, male, female, brown, whatever, just a different person because they're targeting and seeing which ones land the best. And they look too perfect. And even if they don't look too perfect, like I'm very sure I don't even see any
Well,
real people on.
I think I've noticed recently that every single video I watch, like I don't have perfect teeth. You can tell I don't have perfect teeth when I smile, but you'll see more and more videos online now where people, it looks like everybody's got bright white teeth. You can tell that's those are all AI videos. They look like they're real celebrities. It's their AI body clone. So it's just coming more and more prevalent how I want your messaging to be from the heart and accurate while we're competing against a ton of AI out there. So
Exactly. It's like
you'll
finding that.
notice when you're dealing with customer service at big corporations, everything seems to be an automated voice. Like everything is AI now, which we're want to use it as a tool, but still have your original messaging and ascension and like have we want you to be creative with this and be a real human while using some of these tools to shorten your creative process. And you can just do,
Yes.
tests just to see if people. I was talking to a YouTuber 2 days ago, somebody who's asked me for help with his channel, and he told me that he's like, my AI version gets more likes than the real one, and I'm like, own it. You've already
Mhm.
captured you've captured their attention. Just own it and just use it and leverage it.
Well, one thing on that AI, again, because we talked a little
Okay,
bit about
Roxy.
build
Well, yeah,
business.
thanks for showing up. We're going super long today, but we wanted to make sure this was a separate recording just for training on syllabi. So,
Yes, yes. No, and on that note, I wanted to make one comment about the AI and business as a side note, especially since I know a majority of us are all not only building our brand, but we're building businesses, is there is a trend we're going towards where there is a lot of repulsion towards AI. And it's a valid repulsion because a lot of AI has been implemented without a good strategy. So I'll tell you an example of what I came across, which is a perfect reason why people don't really want to deal with AI. So it's going to take as we use it because it is super useful and we can benefit using it in our businesses in certain areas, but we need to learn how people are using it wrong in their businesses and make sure we're not duplicating it. So the campsite we're at, they've got the laundromat. Now we've ran into this last time. Actually, this full trip, this is the first time I've ran into this trip, which is amazing because we traveled all through the States, and this is the first campsite where we need an app to use the washer and dryer. Okay. So you go to do your laundry, you got to download an app and put money on your app to access the washer and dryer. Whatever. Okay. We got to do this. So I go to get one working, doing my laundry. No biggie. It works fine. Go to the second. The washing machine turns on for a second, goes to zero, says it's done, does nothing. On my app, it shows that it's still running. It took the money from my account, but it's not running. Okay, well, the problem, of course, is that this is a third-party app. So I can't, I'm in a going to the campground. It's not going to do anything. It's not, they don't own it. There's nothing they can do on that because it's a third party. So I'm on this app. There's a chat. I'm attempting to talk to this chat, okay? It was the most frustrating conversation I've ever had. At some point, I eventually went, human, please, human, please, human, please. Eventually, it just gave me their email address, of which then I had to open a ticket. Fair enough, it was dealt with very quickly, but like my personal, being a human, I don't mind. Okay, we want to be efficient. Okay, you want to cut costs, you want to make more money. Fair enough. But take the time to train your AI. Your AI should be able to understand what people are asking. I'm sure in the base level, what they did is literally just went, the AI can pretty much do what the frequently asked answers are. Okay, but it needs to do more. Like it needs to be able to understand what the person's asking versus me getting annoyed, like so annoyed angry and being like, I'm going to send these people a nasty email about how stupid this is. Like, this is not a good implementation of using AI if it's going to aggravate your clients or customers because it is really tone deaf, doesn't understand. I'm telling it what happens, and it's not even able to even provide the frequently asked answer page properly. So there's been a huge amount of money pushed into AI, but a lot of these businesses are not doing it well because they're not training their AI. That is a major important part that I think we're missing. And we could probably do a whole nother class on how to train AI because that's actually one of the things I'm working on. But that's just a side note to keep in mind that if you get frustrated using a chatbot, that business did not spend the time to train their AI well. And that is going to be a downfall using that technology. That's just my own personal rant. Is there anything else you want me to cover on this, Mike? I don't know if I'm missing anything else or because that's really about as
No,
extensive
I
as I
think
use
it's just
it.
like this is just kind of an overview of this particular one called Syllabi. If you're on Facebook, you've likely seen them running millions of dollars of Facebook ads trying to convince you to use their software. It's okay. Um, there's other ones as well, but of course, any new, learning idea creation for your videos is a skill. Script writing is a skill. Actually, recording or making videos is going to be a skill. Learning to upload it onto YouTube is a skill. And then when we show you how to, once you have stuff up on YouTube, how to use AI to make your titles and your descriptions and your thumbnails, like all of these are skills you're just going to have to start learning with our guidance, of course, and start seeing how your viewers, your audience reacts to them, right? So you're going to get comment, if you're building an audience on Facebook, people like, comment, send you DMs over there. Same thing's going to be with YouTube, same thing's going to be with Instagram, and same thing's going to be with TikTok. So it's just learn, we want you to embrace these tools, but kind of just learn how to um, script it and don't leave it all to automation because you're going to piss people off if it's looks 100% automated. We want you to build a lasting relationship with your audience by, you know, storytelling. And then myself, my wife, have monetized YouTube accounts. So it's a very small group, and we're going to just teach you as we go. As fast as you can learn from us, we can go way quicker with this, but I want to make sure you got the fundamentals of the script writing, the storytelling, video, because you can spend a lot of time making videos and then never publish them. And what we want you to do is make the videos, get them uploaded, and then we will then react to learn what analytics look like and watch time, because we can make these videos and we want people to watch them, but we're also going to have to learn to read the analytics and say, hey, we've made all these videos, we've got this YouTube channel, why don't we have any subscribers? Well, are you telling people about your channel? Are you promoting your channel? And once people are finding it, how are you reacting to the analytics and then the comments? Right? So,
And,
I know, I think
and
that was
number
good.
one,
Unless anybody has questions about it, I think it's one of those things where um, you need to play with it and just create and then show people your creations. And it doesn't matter if you've got a podcast or you're making shorts or you're making animated videos. It's just like get into the habit of creation every single day, create something, upload it, release it for your audience. And, this is how we communicate with our audience that we can solve their problems, right? And for me, I know a lot about computers and cybersecurity, and I got to dumb that way down to the basic level for like a 5-year-old, right? So I'm re-going through, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna start storytelling at really basics, and then have the really basic stuff, and then if you want the really advanced stuff on like cryptocurrency and Bitcoin, I will send you to my already pre-recorded structured podcast where I just nerd out on that stuff at a very high level. So
well, and the point is, use whatever you need, get content, because that is what we've been talking about. We're in how many months now? Is this third month, Mike?
Yeah, this is week 12, so we've completed the first one was on the beach of Louisiana before we even hit Florida in June. So yeah, we're like, yeah, we're 3 months in now. So
So you got to create the content. I mean, we have nothing to work with if there's no content to put up, right? So and the encouragement is do whatever you can do to get yourself motivated into that creative mindset, doing something, whether you're only making 10-second videos to even just get on, do something. Because that is the first step before anything else is the has to be something to share. And so I would highly encourage to check out some of these things, go and play around with it. Use fear as a motivation to do it. If you're fear and it makes you uncomfortable, that means you should probably try it and then see what happens from it. You can always stop, purchasing things. If you don't like it, you can change to something else. But if you don't do anything, you're going to be exactly where you were before, right? So we're just staying in a lull if we're making steps forward. That would be my inspirational comment for today.
any question? We're like 2.5 hours in, which is way longer than we typically go, but I know we had a special guest today, which I really needed that. And I wanted to show you just one way you can make videos, which is using the Syllabi software. We probably have an affiliate code for it. I haven't really shared it out because I wasn't sure if I was happy with their stuff. And I don't like recommending software if I don't like it. So I don't want you to come back and say, hey, you told me to use this. And I'm so frustrated with it because I get this all the time I get this from my existing customers where I'm like, hey, you have a podcast, go throw it up on YouTube. And then they come back 2 months later saying, do you understand you have made me spend so much time learning YouTube and I've had to learn all this stuff. And I'm like, hey, but you've got 1,000 new subscribers on YouTube. So the stuff I told you to do, you're doing it. And you're getting comments now and you're building up a brand new audience. So yeah, it's going to be like a side hustle. It's going to be like another part-time job on the side, but you're a business owner and you need to reach a new audience. So take what you've already made, go repurpose it over on YouTube, and then grow that audience. And then you're going to learn skills like editing and keyword search and all this other stuff. Like you can spend your whole day just watching stuff on YouTube. Some of it might be good advice, some of it may not be good. That's why we built this YouTube University. Whatever you find on YouTube, bring it back to me and I'll tell you if I believe the messages that they're posting because some people are just selling courses and they're not actually providing that much value. So that's kind of the other thing with online influencers, business coaches, et cetera, et cetera. You got to figure out um, if they're actually genuine and if they've actually done it themselves. A lot of people are just regurgitating everybody else's information, but we've been able to scale YouTube channels to 1,000 subscribers, over 4,000 watch hours, multiple different channels across different niches. So we have an idea of what it takes to do it, and we just want you to learn from us, and then I will tell you who I think is great and who isn't so great out there just so you can make your own impression of what's being taught out there. If you're into something, learn from a bunch of people and then use your own reasoning to decide if that's how you want to go forward with it or not. So anyway,
Yeah.
I got
Yeah.
another
And don't
call
worry
coming
about
up in half an
all the
hour, so
details.
I gotta
Yeah.
go, and I want to make
My
sure
last
this.
comment
Go ahead.
gets saved. Yeah. My last comment would just be don't worry about all the details because as you keep putting content up, you will start to learn more and more about those other details because you'll start to get more interested as you do it. So the most important is get it up to begin with because there's nowhere to start if we don't have something there to begin with. So I'm just
It-
regurgitating the whole purpose.
It's
You need to get some content, whatever you need to do.
it's literally like
Don't beat
10,000.
anybody up though. No, no, let's
It's It's literally 10,000 hours to be, good at any particular skill in your business, right? So I've done my IT consulting business for 20 years. And then video production has been 5. And then YouTube's been like 3. So I've been doing all this stuff every single day and just stacking those skills and testing those skills out. And then saying, hey, I can fix your crappy YouTube account. But we got to fix everything with it. So where do you want to start? So I'm open. Anyway, thank you all for attending today, and we'll see you same time, same place next Saturday, 9 a.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Dubai time. Once this is saved and uploaded to YouTube, I will go and share the links on the Facebook group that we have. All right. Peace. Have a great Saturday. Have a great weekend.
Bye. Okay.